Hello everyone. So I'm going to talk about chapter 6 and 7 of the Crystal Clear handbook written by Alistair Cockburn. So for the chapter 6 in the books, they emphasize on the misunderstand or the common mistake made by the software development teams that are using a crystal clear method in their software project management. So one of the scenario highlighted by the Alistair is that in the software team, they collocated and run 2 weeks iteration, but still the project is still failing. So for the Alistair, to emphasize this, he said that to recall the property 1 of the crystal clear, and that is a frequent delivery, not a frequent iterations. What does it mean is the phrase such as incremental development may be created misunderstanding in the software project development. So instead of using incremental development, that is maybe misunderstand or implies a rework or adding more works into the project development, he emphasized that to replace or rephrase these words to be incremental delivery, that is more implies on editing onto the project development. Furthermore, he also recalling some of the property 6 crystal clear method, and that is easy access to the expert user. For the crystal clear solution to combat this project failure is to have the capability of the team to have the access to a friendly user. A friendly user means such as executive sponsor or the stakeholder that to examine the growing system. So Visa, you want to ask something?
Yeah, about the friendly user, right? So can you please explain more about that terms, friendly user?
Okay, so the friendly user is actually referring to the project stakeholder. So an obvious example of this stakeholder are the end user or the internal stakeholders such as project manager. So in this context, we need to have include the friendly user in the project development, because the end user is the one that define the system requirement, and they are the one that are going to use the complete or the final system. Therefore, they have a very knowledge. They have a very well knowledge about what they want to do, what they want of the system, what they want the system to be. Sorry. Second scenario that may be created a common mistake in the project development is 2 developers are separated by a hallway and a locked door. So meaning that in this scenario, developer tends to work alone. So for the crystal clear method, they're emphasizing on to use to predicate on people exchanging small pieces of information at a high frequency over the course of the day, without losing their ability to complete the task. So for the crystal clear solution, they're emphasizing on the developers to look over each other's shoulder at their programs and test code that they are working on. Any questions?
So, yeah, I have a question. So why we need to have like teamwork in software development?
Okay, so to have a teamwork actually bring a beneficial to the software team, because they can improve the problem solving state of mind, and also communication within the team will improve the productivity, and this will also help to reduce distracting. So also to add the benefits of having a teamwork in the software team developments is to have the easy access of passing information within the team. So I'm going towards with the second scenarios, and that is no user is available, but we have the test engineer joining us next week. So most of the organization of the software development, they think that it's not really a big deal to not have a user included in the project management. But actually, a test engineer is not a user, because a test engineer can validate the code whether the system is broken or not, but they cannot tell whether the system is actually what the user wants. So as part of the crystal clear solution, a crystal clear project can encourage to include user as part of the project development process. and the best project have a user available full time.
So I have a question. What if we cannot get user to be like available in full time?
Okay, so according to the crystal clear handbook written by Alistair, he suggested that at a very least, an hour each week should be scheduled for user interview or share design time. So I'm going towards the scenario 4, and that is the user want all the function delivered to their desk at one time. So this is continuing with this conversation that such as we do not want to annoy them by having to install the new version so often. So the key to the crystal clear method is to get the closure and feedback on your development and deployment processes, as well as the software that being built. So crystal clear solution emphasizing to bring a user in the project development to see and use the system to get back feedback on the technical and the usage design decision.
So you have mentioned the term closure, right? So what do you mean by that closure?
Okay, so having a closure means that having the user to sit down together with the team member and to discuss about the design processes and giving the feedback about the growing system. Number 5 is we have the big infrastructure to deliver first. So this is quite a big dilemma in any of the project developments, that is any big project development. So it's very common that big infrastructure may take a longer time to deliver because, however, based on the crystal clear book, Alistair suggested that the allowable period is as large as 3 months. Longer period than 3 months will reduce the project focus and motivation. So one of the suggestions is how to shorten the delivery or shorten the delivery is to get feedback from the running code and active user. So the feedback is not just focusing on the codes, but also including the requirements and writing down the requirements and design in excruciating detail. So this is also applied in the short iterations, that is incremental delivery.
Okay. So why do we need to apply that short iteration?
So a short iteration offers the benefits in the software development, because the reason behind it is to avoid having to write down so many design details at once, and also to get a real feedback from the design decision, to find and fix problems in the development processes, and also to establish a habit of delivering.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the explanation. So shall I proceed with my slides?
Yes.
Okay. So next. So my part is about the frequently asked question. So the first one is, what is the grounding for crystal? So there are a few points stated here. It's like different projects need different methodology, and larger teams need more communication elements, project dealing with greater potential damage, more validation, and there are many more. So the last one will be more to like sweet spots, speed development. So yeah, there are many more groundings for crystal clear. So those are the main points already stated in the slide.
Could you explain more about the sweets? Could you explain more about the sweet spot speed development concept?
Okay. It's more to like you have all the best possible things, like having a dedicated team, experienced people who sit within a earshot of each other, use automated regression tests, have like easy access to the users. So where an environment is actually very easily accessible for all the team members to communicate and have like a face-to-face communication. So the next point will be, so what is the summary sheet for crystal clear? So the summary sheet, it must contain project size, systems potential for damage, types of systems, the values, tolerances, use of precision.
Could you please elaborate system potential for damage?
Yes, of course. So it's more to like a loss of comfort or a loss of discretionary monies, as in like invoicing system. So it can be shaped with additional testing, verification and also validation rules, which is like up to essential money, and it's mainly like not intended for life critical systems as it is missing verification of correctness. Okay. So the next point will be, where is crystal clear in the pantheon of methodology. So crystal clear as a family of methodologies focuses on efficiency and habitability as critical elements of project safety. All crystal methodologies try to accomplish as much as possible with as little as possible. So the idea of other methodologies should be in mind and compare the properties of different methodology with crystal.
So how to identify crystal clear in the how to identify?
You mean like in which situation crystal clear is suits for the project, is it?
Yes, I mean
Okay.
example which methodology to choose.
Okay, so here there are plenty of methodology, so it can describe it cannot be described in terms of like priority or like severity, like we have Scrum, Lean, Kanban. So it's all like various methodology. We cannot list it like the first one, second one, third one. So in case the team have a new project, they should have the idea about other methodologies and they try to compare with the project, the members of the project, the size of the project with the budget and everything. So by having the details, and they should compare like which methodology is applicable for that particular project. So the fourth point will be, what about distributed teams? So Crystal as a family of methodologies focuses on efficiency and habitability. So team distributed across more than just one city are more dependent on communication technology and outstanding individuals. So there are ways for them to succeed, but those ways are not crystal clear.
So is crystal clear good to apply on the distributed team?
No, because distributed team, actually the team will be separated like in many cities, right? So crystal clear we mainly apply to a project where we can communicate to the members in a like as mentioned earlier, in a earshot or in a like first or second level of a building. So it should be more to like in a same environment, then it is advisable. For distributed teams, other methodology might be applicable, but crystal clear is not. So the last point is, how do I get started? So the first is review the constraints for the crystal clear, hold a practice reflection workshop with a few friendly colleagues, proceed through the project interviews and proper team reflection workshop, identify who will serve the friendly user to your group, run a short iteration, hold reflection workshops every 2 weeks for a month or two, and then decide on and the interval to use between the next reflection workshop.
So how if you cannot meet the constraint?
So if let's say we cannot meet these constraints, go ahead and continue with the next steps, but bear in mind that you will need to need additional rules or practices to compensate for the missing project characteristics.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.